not as involved. Let's do carbon tetrachloride. I like that one. CCl4. Okay. So this is a good one. I've got one carbon. Carbon's in group 14. So it has 4 valence electrons. I've got 4 chlorines. Chlorine is a halogen. It's in group 17. It's got 7 valence electrons. There's no total charge here, and so I'm just going to add these up. Let's see, 4 times 8 would be 32. There we go. Now this one, I've got to decide. The little kid in me says, hey, I'm going to put carbon in the middle. I'm going to double check that though. So I'm going to click over here, and here's carbon, here's chlorine. Chlorine's more electronegative, is closer to fluorine. And so carbon then will be my central atom. So when I'm doing going through my list, we've just done the valence electrons and we're ready for this skeleton. So I'm going to put carbon in the middle. That's about it for this pen. All right. Carbon in the middle, a chlorine on either side of my box. I'm going to connect them. Now, we should have 32. I just used 4, but here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to think ahead on this. And we're imagining these boxes. And if I fill up each box with 2 dots, that would be 8. Or if I had a line that's the same as 2 dots, that would be 8. Right? Or 2 lines, right? So I'm going to learn to count by 8. And I have 4 chlorines. So in step 3, I want to fill the outside chlorines. So I know that 32 divided by 8 would be 4. So I can fill up all of my chlorines. Each one gets 6 dots and a line. And I'm just imagining these boxes around the chlorines. So each chlorine now has 2, 4, 6, 8 electrons. Now I've used all 32 electrons. Okay, so instead of subtracting them all, I can count these pretty fast. Here's 8, 16, 24, 32. Now, step 4 says, if there's any extra, put them on the carbon. There's not any extra. So then step 5 says, hey, if the carbon's not happy, make double bonds or triple bonds, whatever we need, by moving these electrons from the outside to being shared with the inside. 1, 2, 3, 4 bonds. That's 8 electrons. Carbon's happy. Each of the chlorines happy. The carbon's happy. This is done. We don't need double bonds. That's why you save the double bonds until the very end. You only use them if you have to. Only use them if you have to. All right, so let's try another one here. Let's try NH3. This will be one we learned the name of. This is ammonia. So nitrogen is group 15. So I've got one of those. 5 electrons there. Hydrogen has 1 electron. There's no total charge. So I have 8 electrons. Nitrogen in the middle, because hydrogen can't be. Now I can put this hydrogen up top. I could do that one. I just need 3 of my 4 boxes around my nitrogen to have those. Now I've just used 2, 4, 6 electrons. We've got 2 left. Now, the step 3 says put them on the outside. Remember, hydrogen already has 2 here. So it's already happy. Hydrogen can only hold 2 electrons. Don't add more to those outside. It's done. Step 4 then says you have any extras, they go on the central atom as a lone pair. So here we go. I added them on the central atom. I now have 2, 4, 6, 8 around the nitrogen, and each hydrogen has 2. Everything's happy. I don't need any double bonds or anything else. This one's good. All right. Now let's try something a little more complicated. So that was ammonia. This is ammonium. NH4, and it's got a positive charge. So this one, I've got 1 times 5 plus 4 times 1 minus 1 because of that positive charge. So now I have 8 electrons. 9 minus 1 is 8 electrons. Nitrogen in the middle, a hydrogen on each side of my box. Make that a little prettier. There we go. Okay. 2, 4, 6, 8. I've used all my electrons. Don't need any more on any of the hydrogens. The nitrogen doesn't anymore. It's got 8. So it's happy. Now this whole thing has a plus one charge. And so when I come over here, I should put a +1 charge. Or just a plus. Okay. Now, a chemist is not going to usually draw these brackets like this. What we do is we draw this top right corner and use that to indicate that the whole thing is in brackets. And so, don't stop me and say in class, Dr. J, what is this 7 plus? Well, that's telling me this whole thing's in brackets. All right, it's telling me the whole thing's in brackets with a positive charge. So there's ammonium and ammonia. Lone pair, no lone pair. All right, that'll come back and be important to us later.